Sometimes it only takes a decision to change everything. Mojisola Awesu, just 21 years old, had a bright future ahead of her. She had worked hard to put herself through school, battling against the odds. But a seemingly simple choice, what was supposed to be a quick, easy gig for some extra cash, attending a party for a quick 15K, turned into something much darker. Days later, her body was found at a refuse dump in Ilorin, Kwara State. The details leading up to her death will leave you questioning the trust we place in others. How did it get to this point? What could possibly have led a young woman like Mojisola to such a tragic end? What are people's assumptions, and could it have been prevented? Let's go back to where it all began. Mojisola Awesu, a bright young woman born on July 4, 2003, had a life filled with promise. Her mother worked for the Ogun State Waste Management Agency as a cleaner, doing her best to make ends meet. But Mojisola wasn't content with just watching her family struggle. She did everything she could to lighten the load. She was a final year student in the Public Health Department at the Kwara State College of Health Technology, juggling schoolwork with side jobs, practically putting herself through school. You can imagine the pride her family felt when she finally completed her final papers. She signed out on the 6th of August 2024. You know, a kind of celebration final year students do when they are done with their last papers. Friends and colleagues leaving their signatures on your shirt. It's very common in Nigerian schools, though I'm not sure about other places. She even posted pictures and videos on her TikTok handle, thanking and appreciating God for His mercies in her life. Graduation plans were already underway in a few weeks. Life should have been looking up for her. She was ready to take on the world with plans and dreams for the future. But life doesn't always play out the way we expect, does it? Sometime between August 7th and 8th, Mojisola received a phone call from a friend, Timileyin. The offer seemed simple. A joint party was being organized by students of Summit University and Al-Hikmah University in Ilorin. Timileyin asked Mojisola if she would act as someone's girlfriend at the party. In exchange, she'd earn 15,000 naira, that's approximately $10. It wasn't much, but for someone who had learned to make the most of every kobo, it was worth considering. Timileyin introduced Mojisola to Mr. Adebayo Promise Happiness, a student of Summit University, or according to reports, someone who was no longer a student, rather he had been dismissed a year prior, like the reports are unconfirmed. Either way, he invited her to the night party under the pretense of having her act as his girlfriend for that 15K fee. But here's where things take a troubling turn. When Mojisola arrived in Ilorin, something felt off. There was no party, no sign of celebration, only silence. Just a hotel room and a bad feeling in the pit of her stomach. She called her roommate, Blessing, sharing her concerns, and that was the last conversation she ever had. Her phone became unreachable, and that was the last anyone heard from her. Can you imagine the fear Blessing must have felt, waiting by the phone, hoping for a message or call that never came? On August 12, 2024, at about 7:30 a.m., one Mr. Olorunoji visited the police. He reported that while returning home from the mosque a day before, a group of laborers informed him they had found a body dumped at a refuse site near Aleniboro area of Ilorin. A team of detectives was immediately dispatched to the scene. Upon arrival, the scene was carefully examined, and the body was removed and taken to the morgue. On August 13th, when Mojisola still hadn't returned, her roommate Blessing decided to file a missing persons report with the police. Unfortunately, the decomposed body that was found was identified as Mojisola's. Her promising life, her dreams, all cut short in the most brutal way. Her body was badly decomposed, so swollen that she actually looked pregnant. There was also foam emanating from her mouth with traces of blood found near her left ear. The picture was just disturbingly gory. Once the police began their investigation, it pointed to something even more chilling: a ritual murder. The prime suspect, Adebayo Happiness Promise, the same so-called boyfriend, had been arrested, and as if that wasn't shocking enough, his father, a well-known pastor, Prophet Adeniyi Adebayo, the general overseer of the Light of God Miracle Embassy in Offa, was also implicated. Unconfirmed sources claim Promise confessed that he carried out the gruesome act under the direction of his father. He said he was acting on his father's commands. It's unsettling to think that the person who should have been guiding him towards righteousness instead led him down this dark and twisted path. The details are still emerging, but it's clear that what was supposed to be a simple arrangement turned into something far more sinister. I will be sure to keep you updated as the case unfolds, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. As more information came to light, so did the rumors and assumptions. People began drawing their own conclusions. Most assumed Mojisola was involved in hookups, believing that her decision to act as someone's girlfriend might have been part of a more secretive lifestyle. Others thought she was just an innocent girl caught up in a business deal that went terribly wrong. Whatever the case, Mojisola's tragic end was the result of something darker, perhaps a ritual gone wrong. After all, why else would a pastor and his son be involved? But not everyone was convinced. Others speculate that maybe it wasn't as dark as people are taking it to be. What if something went terribly wrong in that hotel room? Perhaps Mojisola's death wasn't planned. Maybe it was an accident, a moment of panic that spiraled out of control. And in that fear, the boy fled the scene, leaving the hotel staff scrambling to cover it up. After all, no establishment wants a scandal tied to its name. One report even suggested that it was actually the hotel staff who dumped Mojisola's body at the refuse site, hoping to avoid the kind of attention that could ruin their reputation. So what really happened that night? Was this an innocent business deal that went tragically wrong, or is there more to the story? It's hard to say with certainty, but whatever the case, one thing remains clear. No innocent life deserves to be cut short, no matter the circumstances. Mojisola didn't deserve to meet such cruel fate. It's hard to believe, isn't it? One moment you are somebody with plans for the future, and the next you are a headline. How did they get to this point? Anyways, as the investigation continues, Mojisola's family is left to pick up the pieces. They worked so hard to give her a chance at a better life, and now they are mourning her loss. This story isn't just about a tragic death. It's about how fragile life can be and the trust we place in others. Mojisola was just trying to make a living, like so many of us do, but that decision cost her everything. So here's something to think about. How well do we know the people we trust? And what price are we willing to pay for quick cash? How could this have happened? Was it just bad luck, or was there something more at play? As you think about that, here is something to ponder. Let's be cautious, even when things look innocent. In today's world, where deceit can hide behind even the friendliest faces, staying vigilant can be the difference between life and death. Let's keep Mojisola's family in our thoughts and prayers, and let her story be a reminder to all of us. Trust your instinct, protect yourself, and remember, not every opportunity is worth the risk. Always listen to your intuition. Sometimes it's the only thing standing between you and danger. What are your thoughts? Have you ever had a gut feeling that saved you from something dangerous? Have you ever ignored a warning sign only to regret it later? Share your experiences below, please. Maybe I'll share mine one day. It's actually a funny story, but could have turned disastrous. So that's it for today, guys. As always, stay safe out there. Life is precious, and sometimes it's the simplest decisions that make all the difference. Thank you for watching. Bye.